When one makes up one's mind to do road, and that road leads to Negril, that would have had to be one very long deliberation. Just thinking about making the journey is daunting, as the first thought has to be the mighty long drive ahead. But did you know that just because Negril is technically located in a South Coast parish, that does not mean you must drive on the South Coast to get there? Don't believe me? Take a look at this. The bottom route is typically what we use as the South Coast, and that can take you from 4 to even 6 hours to get to Negril. However, the blue route is the North Coast, and that can take you far less. Some persons can do it under 4, some persons in as little as 3. So just in case the length of the drive was a turn off, you've now got options. It was one long, straight, lonely drive from Montego Bay. Beautiful, but lonely. At one point, I must confess, we wondered if we would ever see any signs of resort life. But finally, a building came into view. Our hearts lifted. The GPS said less than 20 minutes to your destination. Did you know that Negril has 3 distinct resort areas? Well, maybe you didn't really know that, because we sorta kinda just made it up. Why? When we traveled from one end to the other, it was clear to see that there were 3 distinct resort type settings to be found in Negril. Coming from St. James, we will call this resort area that we're now driving through Zone 1. Did you know that in this section, Zone 1, this is where you will find most of your all-inclusive hotels in Negril? Though Negril now boasts quite a few all-inclusive hotels, did you know that in its beginning, it was not even considered a resort town? But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Do you know the names of any of the all-inclusive hotels in this section of Negril? Come on, you know a few of them. If we were in class, you'd be holding up your hands right now. But let me name a few. You're going to find Rio. There are actually 2 of them. You're also going to find Couples. You're going to find Royalton. Again, there are 2 of them. I don't know why. Maybe if you don't want to stay at one, you can opt to stay at the other. You're also going to find Hedonism, Point Village, and Grand Lido. Some of these hotels, you're not able to see them from the road, so you'd have to turn off and take a very short drive in order to get to them, but they're just as beautiful just the same. Did you know that although Zone 1, as we call it, is said to be in Negril, the locals don't quite see it that way. What they think is that these hotels are not actually in Negril, but they're so close they're just using the name to get the publicity. I mentioned a few earlier, but I deliberately left this one out. Did you know that Sandals also has a hotel in Negril, and the quality is no less than the Sandals brand anywhere else? Did you know that the hotels in Zone 1 are on a part of what is known famously as the 7 Mile Beach? These all-inclusive hotels are located on the 2-mile stretch called Bloody Bay. Cool Runnings Water Park is one of the things that Negril is most known for, and many persons who go to Negril go just for that park. But did you know that it is the largest water park in Jamaica? Just in case you're getting a bit anxious because you're not staying at an all-inclusive, not to worry, your destination will soon be in sight. Once you pass Cool Runnings, that is one of the markers that you can use to know that you are about to cross over into Westmoreland. Azul Beach Resort is also another marker that you can use to know that you're now entering Zone 2. Welcome to Westmoreland. According to the locals, this is where Negril truly begins. We will call this section Zone 2. Zone 2 takes up the majority of the 7-mile stretch. Did you know that this section of Negril has just under 5 miles of the 7-mile beach, and it is called Long Bay? Quite often when you hear the name Negril, immediately you begin to think of dollar signs because it has that exclusive sound, that exclusive feel, and you often hear of that exclusive experience, and that must cost some big bucks. But not so. Did you know that Negril has somewhere for anyone, regardless of your budget? In Zone 2, there are still quite a few all-inclusives, but not as many as the other types of resorts. Here is where you would have to figure some things out for yourself, but it's not that difficult. You will pay for your accommodation, and then you can choose to have your meals off property or at a restaurant on the property itself. You would also have to pay for other amenities and sort of figure out your entertainment for yourself. But trust me, that would be no problem in Negril. you know the names of any of the hotels or resorts that can be found in this Westmoreland section of Negril? Well, do you? If you're coming up with names like these, you're on the right track. Bourbon Beach, Beaches, Couples, Skylark Resort, Negril Palms, Negril Treehouse, Margaritaville, Idlewild, Nirvana, Rooms, Grand Pineapple Beach, Sunrise Club, Travelers Beach Resort, Coral Seas Beach Resort. And I cannot exhaust this list. Just Google them, you'll find them. I'm sure that you're seeing properties lining both sides of the street. And you must be wondering, what happens if I choose a property that is not on the side where I will have access to the beach? Do you know that the hoteliers in Negril, they have a little bit of an arrangement? So if you end up staying at a property that does not have access to the beach, all you have to do is go across the road and there is an arrangement there waiting for you. They're friendly like that, trust me. What kind of a feeling do you get driving through this section? It feels a bit like home, doesn't it? Well, Negril is just that. It's like home away from home. One of the things that we could not get over was how relaxed, how laid back, how very idyllic the entire area was. Trust me, when you're in Negril, you just feel as if you don't want to leave. We honestly started to think about, okay, what would it take for us to leave the other end of the island where we're coming from and actually settle down here? It's that peaceful. As beautiful and untouched as Negril appears to be, one of the things that we must recognize is that it had to start somewhere. Do you know how Negril got its name? You've had some time to think about it or Google it, but let me just tell you. Negril got its name from the Spaniards in 1494. It was originally called Anguilla Negra, and that was because there were black eels all along the coastline. This was subsequently condensed to Negrillo, which means little black one, and of course eventually shortened to Negril. There can be nothing lacking when you're in Negril. As you can see, every little thing, every little comfort that you're accustomed to is right here. You want a bank, a gas station, a quick meal, a plaza, some quick shopping, everything is right here. You see us heading past the roundabout? We're not quite done with the tour. So hang on, we have one more stretch that we need to talk about. Get your thinking caps on. We've looked at Zone 1 with the all-inclusives, Zone 2 with a little more of a scaled down laid back vibe with a combination of both. We're now heading over into Zone 3. First of all, we must confess that we did not do the entire stretch of Zone 3. We stopped at the lighthouse. The weather was getting a little bit worse, and so we had to turn back because it actually started to rain. So forgive us for that. For those of you who know Negril a little bit better than we do, okay? I'm not going to even ask, did you know for this one? What is the name of the zone that we're now driving through? Tell me. Talk to us in the comments about that name. You will notice that the terrain on this section is a bit rocky, which means that there really is no proper beach access. But beach or no beach, you know, as Jamaicans we turn we hand make fashion. This section is still very popular for vacationers. You will also notice that there is more of a community feel along this stretch. The properties on this section are for those persons who are seeking a little bit more privacy than what you'll find in zones 1 and 2. You'll notice that the road itself is quite country-like in terms of being narrow. It's not so much of a highway that we came off of, and so right away you get that feel of being in an inner space and an inner sanctum, so to speak. So you want privacy, this is a section that you come to. What do we have over here? We have a combination of restaurants and resorts. Some of these are Home Sweet Home. Sounds quaint, doesn't it? Samsara Cliff. Pushcart, that's a restaurant. Rock House Hotel. The Oasis Resort. Coral Seas Cliffs Resort. The Negril Escape. Le Mirage. Sea Star Inn. Catch a Falling Star, Banana Shout, Villa Surmir, The Caves. That's just a few. Remember, we only did the first half. So if you know any of the others that's on the other half after you pass the lighthouse, drop a comment below so we can know them too. At this point in our video, have you figured out where we are as yet? I'll give you a clue. It's the name of one of the cardinal points on the compass. So that's a little bit of a narrower scope that you have to bring it down to. Think about that. And we're waiting to see the comments to see who guesses where we are. I mentioned earlier that this section, though bereft of beaches, they still do have access to the water. Now, what they have done is found inventive or creative means of accessing this precious vacationer's commodity. Some of them have pools and some of them, set up similarly to other resorts along the south coast, will have access to the water in a section that is fairly safe. Of course, the lifeguards will be on duty to ensure that all guests are safe and secure. So do not be turned off by the fact that, well, they don't have a beach, so I don't think I'll be booking there. Don't be turned off by that. You don't have anything to worry about. One of the things that I must say about this section of Negril is that this is where it all started. We're going to talk about that in a little while. You will notice, of course, that the entire area, as I've said, has that feel of being in a community, and you are actually driving past persons' houses, blended in and mixed in with the resort. So it does truly give you that feeling, that vibe that you are a part of the Negril family. You will also notice again, we have not been driving for very long. The town center is just back there. So it's still accessible. So just in case you're thinking, I'm going to be so far from everything and all amenities, not so. Negril is just one cozy living experience. So as we wrap up our part of the Zone 3, remember that you have 2 questions to answer. We're waiting on the answers in the comment. Question 1, what is the name of this section? It has a very popular name. And question 2, what are some of the other resorts and restaurants beyond the lighthouse that we did not get to? Comment below, we're waiting. Go ahead, comment. We've been through Zone 1 with the all-inclusive properties, Zone 2 with the middle of the ground, so to speak, with the combination of the all-inclusives and the resorts, and Zone 3, or a part of Zone 3, which we have as the more private, inclusive, inner sanctum experience part of Negril. But history would tell us that it didn't all start like this. We didn't have the world created and Negril was created with what we saw. It had to start somewhere, right? So as beautiful as Negril is, you would be shocked to know that Negril did not start as a resort town. How do you think Negril even got its name? Did you know that Negril was first called Anguilla Negra? From the sound of that, obviously you would know that it was named by the Spaniards, and that was all the way back in 1494. Eventually, Anguilla Negra was condensed into Negrillo, which in Spanish means little black one, and more popularly known in modern times as Negril. Because you know, as Jamaicans, we have to find a different word or shorten everything, right? That name was all the way back in 1494. Fast forward a few centuries. Did you know that Negril did not become any sort of a resort, town or setting or spot until the late 1950s? That's such a long time. Did you know that the first kinds of vacationers that Negril had were more of the bed and breakfast type of persons. These vacationers would actually pay locals to come and stay in their house, or sometimes they would even put tents on their lawns. It was not until Daniel Connell thought of putting together some sort of a spot for these vacationers, and he created the first guest house in Negril called Palm Grand. I'm sorry, that's actually Palm Grove. And then the first actual hotel in Negril was the Yacht Club by Mary's Bay on this end of the island. So that's another clue for that second question about where we actually are. Okay? No, was that the first question? Whichever one it was, you have one of the clues. Wait, only did one more? Sorry guys, this is where it ends. No, we did not forget to mention this place earlier because we knew that this is where we would bring this to a close. Rick's Cafe. Want to take a jump? Until next time, road is out there to be done. Road is going to be done by Bevianas Chronicles. Bye.